Hello beautiful people, welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you are enjoying it so far. Bek and I have so much to talk about and I don't want to cut our conversation short. So enjoy! So we need to ask quality questions. Is that the word that you said? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So what would be your top 3 quality questions that people can start asking themselves?
Okay, let's just talk generally. When you wake up, are you grateful for what you have around you? That is question number 1.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that up. I forgot to ask, what are you grateful for today?
Oh, so much. I was thinking about that this morning, and I was thinking about the current situation and how, out of all places, someone decided that I was able to be born in Melbourne and that I get to live in Melbourne with medical healthcare, with a government that is able to support me financially during this period, with technology, with basic clean water, with basic food. And I was like, out of all places I could be right now, I am experiencing this crisis in Australia and I cannot take that for granted. I just can't. So that was what I was really grateful for. And also the ability to critically think, the ability to look at information from a distance objectively and know when something doesn't add up and know when something might be a little bit too far-fetched for me, and being able to take what I need from these bits of information and leaving whatever doesn't feel right to formulate my own opinion. So that's what I'm really grateful for.
Love it. Thank you for sharing.
What about you?
Oh, the reason I said I forgot to ask this question is because this is how she started her podcast. She asks people what they're grateful for.
Yeah, it's my number 1 question that I ask myself every day, like without fail. And I've been doing that since, I don't know, actually, a really long time.
Yeah. Good job.
Yeah.
So back to the quality question. So number 1 is, what are you grateful for today?
The second one, I know. These are like my podcast questions.
Oh, girl. No. Oh my God. You're going to ask a question I'm going to ask you. But continue.
So the second one is, what is one way you can be kinder to yourself today? And what is one way you can be kinder to another person today? That's number 2. Because I think when we get caught up in our own lives, we forget that there is so much power in being of service to others. There's a sense of fulfillment that you can achieve that is so that nothing else can compare to. But also we forget that we need to be nourished in order to keep being of service to others and to live happy and rich, fulfilling lives. So that's one thing. And also because I'm a real bitch to myself sometimes. So, asking how can I be kinder to myself is so necessary for someone like me to really just bring me back in line, to be like, you know what, you're doing okay. You're doing the best you can, and that's all you can do. Third question is my final question in my podcast. No, which is, do you want me to say it or not?
I'm going to ask you. I was going to ask you. So you need to choose another question. Sorry.
Okay. What else do I ask myself? There's so many questions. This is really hard. What is this teaching me right now? That's a huge one. Whenever there is like some sort of shitstorm that is happening in my life, whenever I've been confronted with a really, really uncomfortable situation, I always have to take a deep breath and I'm like, okay, what is the lesson here? What is the lesson here? And I try to put myself in that state so quickly, because I know that resisting that makes me suffer even more. And the faster that I am able to put myself in that situation where I can ask that, the faster I can come to a solution. And not only that, but understand what is being triggered, why it's being triggered, and how I can use that. That's a big thing for me, using whatever shit we are faced with. Because I mean, like, if I didn't do that, I wouldn't have a podcast right now. Like, the most beautiful things in my life have come from me using the shit that has happened in my life.
I call it lessons.
Lessons. Yeah, but it is shitty. Yeah.
Yeah,
at the
you're
time.
right.
It is
I
shitty.
love it.
I'm not gonna lie about that. Like, it sucks, but yeah, those are the best things to be able to use.
Yep. Thank you so much for the top quality questions that people can start asking about themselves. But I'm gonna be, I don't know if this is gonna be annoying, but I think sometimes people struggle to find what to be grateful for. Like,
Yeah.
like it's like, well, what's grateful?
Yeah,
What's
no,
gratitude?
I get, yes. What is gratitude? And then there's also some people that are so used to asking themselves what they're grateful for that now it's a routine rather than actually feeling the feelings of gratitude, the true embodiment of gratitude. You know, you can get in such a routine of being like, what are you grateful for? This, and be like, yep, these are my answers. I've said them before, so it makes sense to say them now because I am grateful for them. But am I feeling them? Maybe not. Am I actually taking the time to really feel into each of them? That's the difference, I think.
Okay,
but
something.
It's just like it's a practice. It's a daily practice. I was never like this before, you know. I just happened to come across the practice of gratitude through being exposed to Christianity. That was a beautiful part of my exposure to that was the fact that these people were, you know, looking at their blessings and taking the time to recognize them and honor them. And I took that on as a daily practice to the point now where my day wouldn't be right if I didn't start it like that. So like any habit, you have to do it day in, day out, and consciously force yourself to do it day in, day out until you don't have to be conscious about it anymore.
It got me, actually, what you said got me thinking about Mel Robbins. So for those who might be struggling with gratitude at the moment, she suggested people to be like, okay, so what do you get to do today? For example, today you get to call your parents, call your friends or whatever, FaceTime. Well, then you can be grateful for that because not everyone has technology. Not everyone has their parents alive or have friends or etc. So yeah, there you go. And I would also like to add on the kindness thing that you have mentioned before. Please do not underestimate the small act of kindness because every little bit counts.
Yeah.
And so before you talk about journaling, because that's what you do daily, I know that some people struggle with it.
I mean, it's not for everyone, I guess. I have some friends that are just not into writing. And some people just like talking more. So I have some friends that voice record. They're like talking to themselves instead of actually writing physically. I have some friends that film themselves that are like, okay, how are you feeling right now? What's going on? What's coming up for you? You know, everyone is different. I mean, journaling works for me, but if it doesn't work for you, be curious again to find what does work for you. Like some people find that meditation really works for them. I struggle with it, but that's because I've always struggled to sit still, and I'm learning. I'm getting better at it. I'm getting a lot more patient now than I was before. But you know, you just have to explore, but also like give it a real crack before you can decide that it's actually not for you. You know, I feel like some people try it once and they're like, that was just so not me. And I'm like, yeah, but how long did you do it for? Like a day or two? Like how? Of course it's not you. When has anything that we've done for a day or two really felt comfortable? Ever? Especially when it's talking about your own emotions and your own state of being.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, you have touched on something that is so prominent right now because people, well, I hope that people will slow down really. because somehow we are so accustomed to have instantaneous gratification. So, and thank you for suggesting the voice recording and the filming part. And please, I personally honestly love journaling too. That's why I'm like, for those who are struggling, what do they do? So thank you so much for sharing that.
No, for sure. There's always something that they can do, you know. I really like the voice recording ones because sometimes I do that too. So if I'm in a rush and I know that I don't have time to fully sit and write out a whole page of whatever, I just use my phone and record and talk to myself, and it's so therapeutic. And then you can go back and listen to it and understand your thought process as a stranger almost.
Love
and
it.
then the next time you go through something similar, because you know patterns reoccur, triggers reoccur, it doesn't take once to be able to just undo some deep programming. You can go back to those memos, those voice memos, and be like, okay, well, like what's the similarities here? Okay, I was triggered then because of that. I was triggered then because of here. Is there a link there? What haven't I resolved yet? Like it's just really cool.
Yeah, thank you. So please, for those who are listening and watching, please go and, discover ways that you can deal with own feelings.
Be curious.
Yes, please. Now, my turn to ask you.
Yes. Ooh, I wonder what it is. Oh no, I actually need to think about it. I haven't asked myself this question in a while.
Yes! Yes! I'm so happy.
I think I've been avoiding it.
Why?
Actually,
Girl, why?
Because then I would actually have to step up, and I'm not a superhuman. There are when you expand, and then there's a phase where you're like, okay, yep, you've taken the step, and then you're like, yeah, feeling super good and empowered in it, and you're like, yep, awesome, I'm feeling aligned, and then you reach a ceiling where you're like, okay, you know that it's time to take the next step in the expansion. I know that I am there right now, and I've been resisting it, and this is the same as like doing the podcast by myself thing. It's like I do this thing where I'm like, I know I need to grow to the next level, I know that this is time, and if I acknowledge it, then I have to then fucking do it, and then it's like, oh.
Okay, yeah. I will give you some time to have a think, but I just want to touch on what you just said, because it's really, I would say it's really easy to just be comfortable.
Yeah.
But
we love comfort.
Yeah.
We love comfort. Like, I mean, I'm its number one fan.
Yeah. But I feel like you're not living if you're just in your comfort zone.
Yeah. Well, most of the years that I was just living within those limits, the boundaries of my comfort zone, to be honest, I wasn't very happy. And I also wasn't growing as a person. I was so stagnant. And I do believe that my sadness and a lot of my just grief came from not progressing as a human being, came from not growing as a human being. I really do believe that we are here to evolve. We are here to become the greatest, the most limitless versions of ourselves. I really think that is the end goal. And the fact that I wasn't doing that made me really, I was just stuck. I was just stuck in the same patterns, the same shit, the same negative thinking cycles, the same crappy friendships that weren't good for me. And I just wasn't growing. So yeah, we the fact that we need to be aware of our comfort zones and have the courage to constantly push against them is a real thing that you have to do if you're committing to doing the inner work.
And well, I would like to say thank you to your crappy friends, however you want to label them, whatever.
I shouldn't say crappy friends. It was just friends that
didn't serve you.
Yeah, it was
in the
just
right
like
direction.
Friendships that we were both using each other for company and to distract ourselves, you know? They were just party friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But because of them, I guess you have a chance to realize that there is another level of, I wouldn't say level, but another side, another way of living.
Another way, yeah.
Yeah, and when we speak about comfort zone, it's not just about, you know, where you're living, but also your beliefs and yeah, etc. There's so many different levels of, different sides of comfort zone.
Can you elaborate on that?
Well, I think, for example, someone may believe that if I buy that bag, it's gonna make me feel better. And that is sort of a comforting thought that they have been believing. So perhaps you can choose, if one day you feel upset or whatever, and the day that you choose not to buy that bag and then be like, oh shit, I need to deal with my feelings, then that's you stepping out of your comfort zone.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah. So again, I think like when that's kind of like, are you looking outwards again? Are you looking externally to be able to self-regulate, or are you going to look internally and be like, okay, what have I been running from here? What really is screaming for me to look at it? But in saying so, yes, we do get to choose what our comfort zone is, and people fill up that comfort zone with instant gratification and pleasures that help us self-regulate, that help us feel safer, because everything else is so scary. Everything else is so unmanageable. Everything else seems so bleak, that I need to create this zone for me to feel safe.
So I hope that your podcast and hopefully my videos can help people to be more brave, to choose perhaps not a normal lifestyle that the society says that you should live in. Are you ready for my question?
Just go for it. I'm just gonna have to think about it on the spot. Yeah, go for it.
So if you had 5% more courage, what would your life be like now?
Oh, fuck. Alright.
Take your time, it's okay.
If I had 5% more courage, how good is that question, by the way?
Good.
Not to deflect or anything, I will answer it, but let me just say, that is a good question.
Yes. How did you come up with that, by the way?
I was talking about courage with a friend, and we were talking about fear and how daunting it can be when we know that there's something that we need to do. We know that there is a step that we need to take. And they were saying, you know, all we need is courage. All we need is courage. And I was like, yes, but sometimes when you're in that fearful state, it just seems so enormous that you don't know where to start. And then I just started thinking about it. I'm like, how do I start anything that I do? I build up to be so huge and daunting and not doable in my head, because I do that a lot sometimes with my tasks that I have for the day. I just blow it up. My brain goes psycho. Thanks, brain. And usually when that happens is I break it down. I break it down into like crumbs, I call it. And I almost like trick myself. I do a lot of that. It's like similar to the way I started the podcast, asking Cindy, backing myself in a corner so that I can't back out. So I know that when I don't want to do something, the best way is to trick myself. So breaking the piece down into, well, what would you do if you had 5% more courage? It's not much, but what would you do? So like creating that possibility, creating that curiosity is then what really starts the ball rolling. So yeah, that's how I came up with it.
Yeah, I love it. Sorry, I want to quickly touch on to what you just said about the crumbs.
Yeah.
People get paralyzed about their goals and their dreams, whatever it is, because it's so big. So whoever that is listening and watching, what she has mentioned is so important, because you need to break it down to steps to be like, what should I do like now, today, to reach that goal? Or what can I do this week to get there?
Yes.
Oh my God.
You just reminded me of something. I can't believe I didn't remember this before. I had it on my wall for like a year. Another one of the quality questions that I ask myself, especially when I'm in a rut or I'm feeling a bit stagnant or I know that I'm self-sabotaging, is who do you want to be in X amount of time? And I had that on my wall in 2017 when I was going through that breakup, and I didn't know what to do, but I also knew that I didn't want to stay that version of Bek. I didn't want to stay like that. I knew that there was so much more somewhere deep down inside. So I thought about it one day and I was like, who do you want to be? Who do you, and on the wall I said, who do you want to be in a year's time? And because that was something that I could conceptualize. It wasn't too far away that I was like, and it wasn't too close that I was freaking out about it. But I had it on a green Post-it note on my door in my bedroom, and every morning I would see it, and it would just be the number one thing that just drove me. Who do you want to be? Because we forget. It's like we think about what we want to do, we think about what we want to achieve, but we don't ask ourselves, who do we want to be? Because that person is the person that's going to be able to get whatever dreams and accolades that you want to achieve done.
Yeah, I love it. And another thing I want to add on to what you just said is, when we die, the only thing that actually you left nothing on this planet, but what
except love.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what you have left on this planet is the connections that you make and the feelings, the emotions that you have created with the other person, the people that you have touched on. So yeah, I feel like I gave you enough time to think about that question.
Okay, all right, 5% more courage. I do know, that's why I'm resisting it.
Tell me.
Okay, with 5% more courage, I would be so much more vocal and in front of the camera with my social media, with this stuff, about this stuff. I would be putting out so much more content with me talking about this stuff. I would be putting out more solo episodes talking about this stuff. And this goes back to that little girl, who never believed in her voice, who never thought, like who always thought, who am I? Who am I to be able to speak up? Who am I to have anything of value to offer? And it constantly goes back to that narrative, which I fucking hate, because I'm like, oh, you're there again. No matter how much work I've done on you, you still keep popping up.
Yeah.
Which goes to say again, it never ends. But yeah, I would just be so much more vocal, and you know what, I would also have more confidence in starting some sort of coaching, because I mean, like, I do it anyways. I do it with the people around me anyways, and I know that this is what I'm naturally gifted to do, is to bring the best out of people and to elevate them and to guide them and to help them find the answers within themselves. That is what I'm good at, and I know that, but there's a part of me that's like, who are you to call yourself this? Who are you? Like, who's gonna be your client? Like, all of these things. Yeah, well, I would encourage you to put that on your Post-it note and then put it where you can see it. Drops mic. Let me just drop this mic.
No, seriously, I'm so excited for that. And I'm sure it will be coming soon. because you're already doing an amazing job. And thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
being on here, for showing your face.
Thank you for having me.
And yeah, if you would like, I would love to do this every day with you.
I love these convos. They really light up my soul. So thank you. Thank
Oh,
you.
thank
It's
you.
such an honor. Again, like a part of me is like, oh, what? You wanna talk to me and get and understand how my brain works? Really? Okay. I don't know what I have to say, but I mean, hopefully it will help someone, you know?
So before I ask you my my last question.
Oh, there's another one.
Yeah, there are actually a few more. So what do you think that, well, before I ask you that, is there anything that you feel like I didn't ask or didn't mention or you would like to share?
I mean, I'm an open book, so if you ask me anything, I will answer it. Like I don't really have anything to hide. My life is pretty much on this podcast, and I think people, if they've been listening for a while now, know how flawed and just human I am. So
I'm sorry.
Like, what?
The reason I'm laughing like this is because I still remember the very first conversation, the very first phone call that we had. We talked about how many times we go to the toilet.
It's true.
That's how open she is, guys.
I just don't give a fuck. Like, I mean, actually, you know what? I do give a fuck, but I give less of a fuck now. And it's so freeing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm an open book. So if there's anything that you want to ask me, go ahead.
Yeah, all right. And also, I think you don't care about things that don't serve you anymore, and you care about the things that will help you grow. So there you go. I think that would be a better way of giving a fuck. So my last question for you is, how do you think that we can help each other right now?
As a human race?
Yeah, girl.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think people need to realize that as a human being, every individual, we have so much power. We are powerful beings. Let's not forget that.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that we have the ability to share, create, and grow love is something that we cannot underestimate. That in itself is like there is not enough love in this world. Like love is the most abundant resource. Can like think about that? Like you keep adding on love and on love on love. It's not like it's going to be ever enough. Like that is how abundant this resource is. And it will never run out as well. Like that's the thing, like it will never just run out. And I think people right now need to really remember how powerful they are in their ability to shift the energy whenever they are having a conversation with someone. They need to remember their ability to be able to, again, spread kindness, spread light. And it can just be through a text message. It can be through, I don't know, cooking someone a meal. It can be through checking in on someone. Like there is so much that we can do right now to make sure that we are even stronger, even closer as a collective than ever before. And I think that's such a beautiful opportunity. And I think about this all the time, like the ability to impact someone based on conversation, like we're doing right now, right? Like you're saying things that's making me think, I'm saying things that's making you think, and we're sharing that. Like that is just freaking cool in itself. So cool that we can just have a conversation and elevate one another, but also shift the energy as well by being mindful of what energy we are putting out in the world. And that's something that I'm very conscious, especially right now. When I wake up, I'm like, okay, how's your energy? Where are you at right now? What kind of energy do you want to radiate out into the world today? So I think that is what we should be focusing on.
I love it. I would like to say, well, I guess because my parents always tell me that people will talk no matter what. either you do good things or bad things.
True.
So why not go ahead and do more good things? So people are gonna talk anyways.
I love that.
So,
These people that are talking, do they matter? Or like, are you doing the good things for them? No. Like, you're doing it for your soul. You're doing it for the people that you're doing them for. So end of story. Irrelevant.
Yeah, so true. And also another point is there's already a lot of greedy souls out there, unfortunately. So that's together, and yeah, like you said, spread more kindness and be the loving person that you can, and don't underestimate your kindness.
Yeah, don't underestimate your power to do all those things. Like, don't forget, we are powerful beings. We have the ability to create things. We have the ability to change things. We have the ability to voice and fight for what we believe in. So
yeah, totally. The power is not just like your freaking muscles. Like it can express it into so many forms, like, you know, painting or writing stories, stuff. There are many forms of ways that you can help people. So yeah, thank you so much. I honestly have tremendous gratitude for this.
Oh my god, me too.
Because 100%. Especially when you said you have trouble sitting down, we have been sitting down for quite a while now.
Oh no, I meant like by myself, like with nothing. Like I'm okay when I'm having a conversation. I mean, I have a podcast. I kind of have to figure that out, you know.
True. Well, thank you so much, and all your details will be in the description below, and I would love to do this again if you're willing to.
100%. I just want to say thank you. Like, thank you for stepping into your power, you know, and using your voice and doing what you can within your capacity to spread more love and more light and elevation in the world. So, you know, like, keep doing it. Like, power to you, man. Like, honestly, it's just so cool. And the fact that we've connected like this, I'm so grateful.
Yeah. Thank you again, Nicole. And thank you for saying that. I really appreciate it.
Such an honor. Thank you.
Yeah, should we just keep on saying thank you?
Yeah, just thank you, guys. Like, for the rest of the podcast, it's just going to be thank you back and forth.
All right, well, I will catch you next time. I love you already. Please keep on doing what you're doing.
You too. Well, actually, I'm going to ask you, what would your life look like right now with 5% more courage?
Wow, yeah, that is a tough question.
It's tough because it's scary. It's not actually tough because we all know what we would do. It's just admitting it, I think.
I don't know.
Me anyways.
Because I was actually having a conversation with a friend of mine, and I told her how I always tell my partner that if I die today, let's say anything happened to me today, whatever, I would actually be really happy.
Girlfriend, I just said that to someone this morning, and I've been saying it so frequently that do you know what? Like, I totally understand what you're saying, because there's just there's an inner contentment.
Yeah.
You know, like you know that you're on the right track. You know that you are fully aligned. You know that you're doing whatever you can. And then you know that you're a good person. So it's like, if I die today, I'll be okay. Like, I'll be happy. Like there's nothing. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's so much more to do. Yeah. And there's so much I can do. Yeah. But if I were to leave today, I'll be okay with that.
Yeah, totally. Exactly.
I feel you.
You know how I feel. So that question is hard, because I love 110%. I give 150% efforts in all things that I do.
Yeah.
I'm still really puzzled to those people who can't say I love you to their close friends or their loved ones. I find it really weird. But
really?
Yeah, I find it really weird. I can't answer you that question.
Well, that's actually really interesting because you just made me realize that with 5% more courage to add as well, you know what? I would be more vulnerable and open to intimate relationships. So like romantic relationships. That's something that I've been shut off. I told you that last time. That's something that I've been shutting off from myself for a while now. Purely because I know I needed to heal. And I knew that I just didn't even have the foundation of me at all to be able to be in relationship with someone. But now, it's been like three years, and I've been single throughout it, just fully diving deep into myself and doing the work on myself, that I'm at a point now where I know that I'm ready for a relationship, and I know that it is something that I would like to explore, simply because I've shut off for such a long time, and simply because this version of me would be completely different in a relationship. But at the same time, there's that fear of opening my heart up again. So when you just said that you love so deeply and then you love so openly, that is something that I've been holding back from. So with 5% more courage, I would be more willing to open my heart up to people.
Yeah.
If I'm being, that's real talk.
Yes. Thank you so much for being so raw. Well, the applications for being Bek's partner will be down below.
Oh my god. See, even that makes me anxious. I'm like, it's okay. I'm good. I'll stay single forever. It's fine. No applications, please. Don't freak me out.
Yeah, I would just like, it's okay. It's just a joke. But is it though, girlfriend? Is it?
Is it? Next minute.
Speaking of courage and vulnerability, I would recommend people to look up Brene Brown. And if you have Netflix, there is a documentary on it.
Really?
Yes.
Like, what's it on? Is it on her life, or is it about...
Oh, sorry. Damn, that was a really... Sorry, not a documentary. A conference. Video that she did. Was it a conference? A talk that she did.
Was it a TED Talk? The TED Talk, the famous one?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
It was... it's just an hour-long thing.
Yeah, what a legend. She really opened up my eyes to that there was a possibility of living differently, you know?
Yeah.
Because I was so closed off. And she really opened up my eyes. So, Brene Brown, if you're listening to this, like, freaking well done. Like,
thank you.
Thank you for changing
so many people's
life.
lives. Yeah, exactly. And thank you to, Tom Bilyeu.
Thank you, Tom Bilyeu. Thank you to all these mentors that don't know us.
Yes.
You know?
Thank you to freaking Aubrey Marcus.
Yeah.
Jay Shetty. I freaking
love
Jay Shetty.
Thank you, Oprah. She changed my life also.
Thank you to Marie Folio as well. So many. There are just so many people. But I also want to tell people this, that everyone connect with different people. So perhaps the people that we have...
Oh my god, did you just read my mind? I was just thinking that as you were mentioning these names.
Yeah. You know what?
I see you.
So I want to say that everyone connects with different people. The people that we have mentioned, perhaps that you don't connect with them, maybe you will connect with Bek, or maybe you will connect with me, whoever it is. I really don't know, but maybe somebody will connect with you, whoever that is listening or watching. So please be brave and share your stories.
Yeah. That's such a good point, and that also re-emphasizes the importance of people needing to step up and be seen, including myself, because there can't ever be enough flavors for the world. You know, everyone's got it's like ice cream. You can't ever have enough flavors. Like, you can't. The more flavors, the better. Like, and sometimes you'll be like, you know what? I never thought I would like that flavor, but now that it exists and I've tried it, dang, who would have thought? This is one of my favorite flavors, and it's changed my life now.
Yeah, it's like cuisines trying on other type of food.
Yeah.
Something just reminded me. I honestly love how you and I can have such long conversations, but it's something that is lost a little bit.
Long conversations, do you think?
I think so. Like, sometimes people are so afraid of having conversations. I guess because they are afraid of asking questions, or perhaps asking the wrong questions, or perhaps being like, can I ask that? It's like they are actually curious. They want to, start a conversation or whatever. But then we are taught to be like, oh, if you ask that person might feel uncomfortable. Or if you say that, that person would think that you are mean or blah, 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 blah. So then sometimes people get a bit hold off on to have a conversation. I guess that's my opinion.
I mean, you know what? Like, I used to be that person. That when I was nursing, I didn't really truly have friends at work, because I never wanted friends at work, because I didn't want them to really see my real side, because that was something that I was protecting out of fear. And everything that you mentioned just now, am I saying the right thing? What will they think if I say this? That is purely based from fear. And when you live in a space of fear, you're living with an armor on, so that people can't truly connect to you. And I realized that. So I love these conversations, because these conversations have a level of realness and rawness and mental stimulation and vulnerability that helps me connect deeper as a human being to someone else, and also in turn like relate to them and realize my own humanness, right? And I think the main difference from me, this version of Bek now, and that version of Bek, is the fact that it wasn't so much other people, but it was me. I wasn't able to have a conversation like this because I was living in fear. I wasn't able to go any deeper than, hi, how are you? Good, great, cool. Yeah, what'd you get up to? Oh, just did this, surface bullshit that no one gives a shit about, like that people just say as if it's a script day in, day out.
Yeah.
They're just repeating themselves robotically. I was one of those people, and I realize now, coming from the other side, that the problem wasn't them, but it was me. I wasn't able to be vulnerable with them, with these people. I wasn't able to be okay with who I was, to be able to show it and own it, for them to also feel comfortable. Because it only just takes one person. I've noticed this, like, ever since I've become this version, because of the vulnerability that I display, because of my openness, it's opened up so many things with other people. It's again the sense of safety. You feel safer. Someone is not guarded. When you know that they're just wearing their heart on their sleeve, you're more willing to be like that as well. You feel safer to share with them things that you wouldn't necessarily share with someone who's got their armor on. So I think people have to really ask themselves, am I wearing this armor? And how is that impacting the depth of relationship in my life right now? And is this something that I want to change? Because I can change that if I want. I just have to be a little bit braver and move into love rather than fear.
Yeah, I love it. Well, that's together, love more and be more brave. And yeah, thank you so much again. Did you enjoy the interview? It was so raw and honest, isn't it? I hope that you are walking away with a few tips that you can start implementing in your life today. I love the methods that she has shared on how to record your emotions. For self-development, it is so important to start recognizing your own emotions. So, if you don't like journaling, Maybe you can film yourself, or you can do a voice memo, or maybe you can find a song that resonates with you. Print out the lyrics, highlight the words that resonate with you, and dig deeper from there. The world is your playground. Be more courageous, be more curious, be more kind, but more importantly, be you. Remember, you're amazing and you are not alone. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click the thumbs up button if you have loved it, and share with someone because you never know what they're going through. Also, I would love your feedback, so drop your comments below or email me. By the way, part 1 interview is here, and if you would like to start to learn how to meditate, you can click here. Or if you're interested to use other methods to dig deeper with your emotions, click here. And I'll see you in the next video.